Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Thursday, March the 14th. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. Wow, what a game last night. The game wasn't the most exciting game ever, but it's all the stuff that happened in the game and surrounding the game that made it quite dramatic and quite eventful for sure. The Canucks beat the New York Rangers 4-1. Very, a solid workmanlike effort by the Canucks. Nothing too crazy. Tyler Mott scoring 2 goals in 11 seconds there to launch the Canucks to victory. But a couple things happened. A couple injuries happened, which I'll get to in a second. But I guess the first news was before that. We talked about Quinn Hughes having media availability at the start of the day, Wednesday, yesterday. And then we found out later in the day that he's going to be in a walking cast, for a walking boot, I should say. Is there such thing as a walking cast? A walking boot for the next few days, and they're going to reevaluate things in a week on his ankle, the bone bruise there. Not a break, but a big bruise on his ankle, blocking a shot Friday, and when his Michigan team was playing in the playoffs still. So it doesn't mean he's going to play in a week. So don't get excited, even though I'm going to that Wednesday, March the 20th game against Ottawa. There's no guarantee he's going to play in a week. They said they're going to look at it again in a week. So maybe they look at it and then he starts practicing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for games next weekend. But for anyone to think that he's going to play in a week, i.e. a week from yesterday on Wednesday the 20th, I think that's a little bit optimistic. Even for a guy who's the founder of the GLCPC, the Canucks Positivity Club, and Mr. Optimism that I am. So that's the news about Quinn Hughes, is look to see him not in the Canucks lineup until maybe next weekend. And the good thing is, as many of us have been talking about, or we know, is that means for sure that he will not reach his 11-game mark. He'll play 10 games or fewer this season, and thus the Canucks do not have to protect him in the expansion draft for Seattle in a couple of summers. So that's the good thing there. So Quinn Hughes, no rush. As much as I want to see him as a season ticket holder, even if his bone doesn't heal that quickly and then he can't get in the season, he can't get into the Canucks lineup this season, it's not going to harm anyone. It's not like he's going to make the difference between a playoff spot for the team or not at this juncture. So obviously we want to see him play healthy because he's at his best. Like anyone else, he would play at his best when he's healthy. But for him, a guy who can skate so well, we want his foot to heal properly. Of course, his ankle. So that's the scoop on Quinn Hughes. So he got injured, of course, last weekend, and now we're learning the ramifications and the timeline behind his injury. There are 3 guys that got injured in the Canucks game last night. So crazy. First, it was Elias Pettersson, and we found out this morning that Chris Kreider, who did that spinning backward discus elbow to Pettersson's face, gave him a bloody nose. Chris Kreider was not suspended, was fined. The maximum allowed by the CBA, a whopping $5,000. Now, $5,000 is certainly a lot for me. I'm sure it is for some of you out there. But when you're making as much as he's making, I saw a stat, I think it's 0.11 of his salary, 0.11% of his salary. So really a drop in the bucket for Chris Kreider. And as I mentioned in yesterday's quick video that I did for my church, my religious education night on Wednesday night, very reckless, it wasn't premeditated, but it was reckless and it was irresponsible. And thankfully, he didn't make even more flush contact with Pettersson's head. Obviously, we know Pettersson's always had at least one concussion already, that one back in October. So thankfully, didn't make direct contact, but enough where knocked Pettersson down for a bit, went to get checked out, concussion protocol, and back on the ice, thank goodness. And we haven't heard anything bad about that, about Pettersson's status today, which is good. So Chris Kreider, once again, $5,000 fine today after getting a 5-minute penalty for elbowing last night and then a game misconduct. Then Antoine Roussel gets injured on a play where he made an assist, a nice assist to Tyler Mott for the second of Mott's goal, 2 goals in 11 seconds. Roussel got tripped, as it doesn't matter, but he was falling down as he was cutting across Henrik Lundqvist, and then it's unfortunate, he fell basically into Brendan Lemieux. Lemieux didn't try and charge him, didn't try and elbow him, didn't put a lot of force. He didn't catch him, not that you expect him to, and he did go into him a little bit, but certainly not enough to warrant a 5-minute match penalty for headbutting last night. So Lemieux was thrown out of the game just a few minutes after after Chris Kreider was thrown out of the game. And that one I feel bad for. Obviously, I feel bad for Roussel. I'll talk about him in a second. But for Lemieux, really, there's not much he could have done in that situation aside from either catching him or letting Roussel fall to the ice, on his own. So in the motion, though, of making contact with Roussel, not heavy contact, but contact nonetheless, Roussel's right knee buckled underneath him. That looked pretty ugly, actually. And now we know that Roussel is out of the lineup for the rest of the season, which is too bad. He has career highs in points, 31 points this season, 9 goals, 22 assists, all scored at regular strength, right? He doesn't get a lot of power play time, if any. And he barely, he does some penalty kill, but you don't get a lot of points on the penalty kill. So it's really too bad. And it's too bad because the Canucks are going into Dallas this weekend to play. And I'm sure he was looking forward to seeing him. I know Dallas Stars fans were looking forward to seeing him. I've heard things from some Dallas Stars fans that I follow or follow me back, or that I interact with on Twitter. And they said that, Roussel was really good for the team, and the team and the fans really liked him there. So it's unfortunate. Roussel's injury is unfortunate, but hopefully he can heal up this summer. Remember he had that late start to the season too with his concussion, but played very well when he was healthy, and it was just an unfortunate accident that, it was unfortunate that he'll be missing the rest of the season with his injury. Also, Ashton Sautner got hurt. I can't remember when this happened. He got hurt also, and he'll be reevaluated today. Didn't hear much news about him as well. So unfortunately, 3 injuries that happened within the game, and then the Quinn Hughes news outside of the game made for kind of a sobering mood around the team, despite a really good win for the Canucks, a dominating 4-1 victory over a New York Rangers team that admittedly isn't that good. So there are some injury updates for you, and the news that Chris Kreider was indeed fined by the NHL $5,000 for that elbow on Elias Pettersson. So bad news. Hughes out for a week. Roussel out for the season. Sautner being reevaluated. Good news, Pettersson came back to the game. And the good news about Hughes is maybe he comes back. Well, we want him to come back completely healthy. Canucks fans, leave a comment below. Tell me about the game. Tell me what kind of emotions you're going through when you're watching the game. Were you happy the Canucks were winning and well on their way to win? Were you mad, scared about Pettersson? Were you mad at Kreider? Were you mad at Lemieux? Did you feel sorry for Lemieux? Did you feel sorry for Roussel? I'm sure you did. I did. And then would love to read, react, and reply as always. Let me know what you thought about the game, and are you okay with this decision to keep Quinn Hughes out for a week at least, to make sure? I'm sure you are. Like, I don't know what other options there are, but it just kind of slows down the timeline a little bit, especially for those of us that were excited to see him in the lineup. So subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Leave a comment below. I'll read, react, and reply. The Canucks are off today. No, not even practicing. But tomorrow they host the New Jersey Devils. I'll be going to that game with my lovely wife Gail. I got a pair of tickets for volunteering at the Dyson Gala, which was really nice. And then my son Sean and his girlfriend Fernanda will be using our regular seats, so to speak. So 3 emos and 1 Fernanda at the game tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to meeting a couple people, Viv and Tiffany for sure. We've been joking about it on Twitter. And look forward to seeing them at the game. And anyone else at the game. I got to find out where my seats are, though. They're not my usual 319, so I have to figure that out before we go. Which reminds me, I better find my tickets. All right, have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.